All right, so I'm going to combine 2 and 1 for this assignment. It's message your instructor. Normally I would have this at the beginning of the course, all right, because this is explaining the preferred way to email. It's teaching them email etiquette. It's going through an example. If you hover over it, we have the accessibility features there. I've retyped the words. And then you have activity 1. So this part 1 is what I'm adding just for this course. Part 2 is what I would normally have them do in the orientation. And I would just have them do this part to practice emailing or contacting me. So whatever the preferred way is, there's this, I think, funny video about email etiquette, and Canvas Inbox is what most instructors use. So it shows them how to use that. And then, right, it looks at the important things in an email or any kind of message. So this is usually in an orientation. But, right, you guys are mostly teachers or gonna be teachers, and so you've probably had a lot of practice doing emails. And it's a really short course. So I'm gonna combine 2 and 1. And now let's look at the first part. So the first part is you practicing that accessibility. So you're going to download this example accessibility document. And if you're using Google Chrome, it's going to download in the corner. If you're using Mozilla Firefox, it's going to be in the top right, like an arrow. I've adapted this activity. You can see the reference there. So then I'm going to open that, save as, right? And then, okay, so I'm going to do a split screen. So I'm going to find some gray space. You can't see the top, but that's what I'm doing. And I'm going to drag it over until it fits in that little space. So that's like snapping your windows so that you can see both of them at the same time. So that way I have my instructions, I have my instructions on my left and my document I'm supposed to edit on my right. So let's look at the steps. First line, we're going to set that to be our title. So in the Home tab, I'm going to go to Styles, find the style that says Title. All right, and then it says for those lines, grizzly bear, I'm holding down the Control button. If you have a Mac, it's the Command button. And then Jaguar and Florida Panther. And I'm going to set those styles to heading 1. So that is an important feature when you're making content accessible, because then the screen reader knows what the title is and it knows when to take a break. So it's chunking the information for the students. That's why we're using headings. And let's see. So now we're going to the Insert tab. So Insert tab, I'm going to download or insert an online picture. So pictures online. And we're going to look for grizzly bear. And we need to keep that box checked. If we uncheck it, then we're getting access to pictures we're not supposed to use. So we can't use any of these, but if I have that checked, we can use any of these. And that's that copyright we were talking about. The Creative Commons, we can use information because it's going to automatically give them credit when we click them, if you have the most updated version of Word. So I'm going to insert one of the grizzly bears. All right, click it. I could double click or just press insert. And it's going to plop it right in. So notice how it gives you the credit already there. If you want to arrange this, you can, right? You can resize it if you want. You could also, let's see, if I go to the Design tab, I can change my themes if I wanted. If I didn't like the blue, I could change the colors. So you have a little bit of freedom here. But I'm just going to be looking at these basic steps for full credit. Okay, so the last step we need to do before we save and submit is add alt text. So first we need to go to the Review tab, and we have the accessibility checker, and you'll get this error message. So we need to add alternative text to this image. So I'm going to open that up. It's going to highlight or select what's wrong. And if I open the down arrow, it's telling me, well, I need to add a description. So I can click it. Now you have this option, add as decorative. You don't usually want to use that. If your image conveys any kind of meaning, right, then we don't want to click this. This is reserved for like designs or shapes that have no additional information added to our artwork. So for this, I might say a grizzly bear wading through a river. So I'm describing what I'm seeing, and then now it should be good. So I can look back at my accessibility. I have the green check mark. Our content's accessible. And then how students would read this is they would click the read aloud.
Black-footed ferret. The black-footed ferret is well adapted.
All right, and that's how they would hear this. Once you finish this, save it and submit it while you message me. Okay, so I've saved it. Notice how there's no submit button because I'm not submitting it here. I'm supposed to message the instructor. Here's the rubric, so 1 point for each of the steps. You can check all the steps. So I'm going to click on the inbox. That pencil is how I start a new message. So I click select course, and then I'm going to pick our CRN. And then if you go to the contacts, you'll be able to see, you can pick your groups, different students. If I click on teachers, it'll have me. So that way, right, students don't have an excuse to misspell your name. And the subject is supposed to be law and policy review. Now, if you're sending out an inbox, or if you're sending out a message from the inbox to your students, you probably want to click this one to send to each person separately. That way it's not one mass email, because students might reply all on accident and now their information will go to everybody. So we don't need to do that because you're just sending to one person. And then you'll greet me. And then it says in the body, describe one law, guideline, or policy that stood out to you so far for this module, right? And then attach your document. So the policy, and then you'll sign your name. And normally I would have students put their CRN or some kind of identifier, but Canvas separates it by course. So this message is going to be already attached to this course. That's a nice thing about the students using the Canvas inbox. To attach a file, I'm going to click the little paperclip, and now I can find my file. So there's my file. You can insert multiple ones. You can do media, press send, and it's going to be sent. Get the green yes, message sent. And then at the top, you can see sent messages, archived, starred if you have them important, unread, and then submission comments if you're talking back and forth on an assignment.